How's it going, guys? We are reviewing the COTA weekend. I apologize to come out Friday. I had a lot of stuff to do this week, but this is the first of many, which I plan on doing the whole year. God knows it might get tiring by the time June comes around, and especially if I have a lot of bad weeks. But for the most, detailed review stuff, I'll be looking at my stuff and the actual race. I have no clue how long this will go. Ideally, I will record these on Monday. Hell, I might even make them a live show on Monday or Tuesday evening if there's enough, want out there for it, as long as I'm not encroaching on the NBA shows or whatever in that regard. But looking at the COTA weekend for both series, let me go ahead and move this down now. Yet again, these are not live on the site yet. We expect to have these on the site very soon. Secondly, I'm sure we've made some announcements of it in the Discord. I don't know if it's been announced publicly, but we are now in official partnership with PayDirt. So as I stated, all the pricing is probably going to go up pretty soon if you guys want to get grandfathered into any pricing that we have at the moment, so on and so forth. But these are also, on top of the PayDirt stuff, these are the tools that'll be on or available. Now, yet again, we're looking at my results on here. We're also going to be pulling the contest and looking through all the races. This, like I said, this is going to be a pretty intensive review of the COTA weekend. Okay, so let's start out with the Xfinity Series race. So if we go ahead and look at this race here, we look at obviously the race results, we're going to see where everybody, and yet again, you're going to have access to this, so you can do it on your own, or as I said, we might just be doing this together and stuff. Not really concerned about the finishing order, right? Okay, what I like to look at is the running positions of where. It's because I already have the stuff running in the background. Let's go ahead and let's start over actually, because I was already here earlier today goofing around. All right, so let's go ahead and go here while we wait to come back here. I forgot, dude, I've been goofing around all day. When we look at the CSV, yet again, we're looking at the big, I think it was the one I pulled at 12:32. I hope so. We'll figure it out soon. I did this on I did this on the Sunday show very quickly, but we'll go ahead and just go through it again, okay? So what you can do, or you'll be able to do, is upload whatever contest tool you want. Also, this is expected to be expanded for other sports, but at the moment, Stukas is doing a ton of great work. I'm so thankful, we got him on the team, and that he is willing to just make this stuff for us and stuff, and be a part of the team and everything. Because I think these tools are going to kick the shit out of a lot of the things that you are using out there. Certainly looking over contests and stuff. We determined that this was, at least in the Sunday show, that this was a 150 maxer who just failed to update lineups for whatever reason, power outage, forgot, whatever the case may be. When we're looking at the Xfinity Series contest, which I don't remember whatever the main one was, you look at the amount of 150 users, so all the MME guys out there. Well, there's only 28 MME guys for the COTA race, okay, accounting for less than a percentage of the contest in terms of users, but encompassing 4,200 entries, yet again minus 150 with this guy here. We then look at the distribution of the other players in this contest, which 21 to 20 single entry, 2 to 20. I will pretty much always fall in line on the small multi, because I pretty much only do 20 lineups at max on most situations here, but you can see the breakdowns of the entries in the contest. We also see the most duplicated lineups right off the bat, so these are the 10 most. Yet again, this one dummy lineup caught in, but your most owned lineups were 46, 45, 44, 37, 36, 35, so on and so forth. You can read. I know my little box, my little guy here, my little window is blocking this, but yet again, that's why you, I guess now, it doesn't really matter. I was going to be like, that's why you want to join, so you can use it on your own time or whatever. So those were the highest scoring lineups. We look at I'm going to go ahead and look at two combinations right now. We'll look at three in a moment to just, get a better understanding of what was going on here. So we look at Connor Zillage plus Ryan Sieg. Now, yet again, I'm going to be bouncing around quite a lot. I need to move this here. So this is my... Okay, well, we're kind of working backwards here. I apologize. I don't have any other screenshots other than that. So this was my... Also, as I said, this might get really hard during the weeks that either stuff doesn't work or it's late. This is how I performed in these races for the transparency aspect of it all. Okay, now, for the most part, I got extremely fortunate with Hocevar dying, right? Okay, when we look at the ownership or the combinations of Connor Zillage and Carson, I mean, if we just look at Carson here, right? You know, we see quite a lot of ownership being with Carson Hocevar and Chastain, Hocevar and Hill, Hocevar and Ryan Sieg, Hocevar and Zillage. Now, this is not, right now we're just looking at two combinations and stuff, but you have to imagine or at least visualize that, you know, 21% of lineups killed here, 15 killed here, you know, 11 killed here and stuff. So, yet again, I'm literally, this is just happens to be, you know, the first real race of the season, coming off of the two plate races and stuff. I just happen to be off of Hocevar because I wasn't a fan of what we saw in practice and stuff like that. So I got very fortunate missing that. But you look at where the field was, at least with combinations and stuff, and you see that Hocevar was used in quite a lot. We then look at lineups that used three, like your most combination, or like, I guess, what is a core exactly? Like, I've seen people ask, like, what are your core? What are your 5 drivers that you're using? I'm like, 5 out of 6, that's a core. What? But I guess you would argue that these were, you know, the most owned, you know, 3 drivers, or not most owned, but like the highest owned combination of 3 drivers in this. And yet again, we're seeing a lot of Carson and stuff too. Not only from what we saw in the last one, but we're seeing that Hocevar was pretty highly owned, right? Okay. Yet again, I'm going to go through, yet again, if you want to go over your stuff, that's why I was kind of like, man, we can kind of do this as a live show or whatever, and people can look at their own stuff. This is where I was at in terms of the field, or in terms of my exposure versus the field. Yet again, I track my lineups like this, so you can visually see where I was at on these here. Okay. But then, like, also just, you know, the number perspective here, you can just look and see here. And we'll go over the lap by lap stuff in a second. I just want to get through I just want to get through the contest review first and stuff. And so this is where I was at in terms of the drivers. We look at where's Hocevar at. So, like, you know, the field at 35, I had 15%. I look at duplication, and I had quite a lot of lineups that weren't duped at all. You know, yet again, I had what is this? 2 that were duped 7 times. I mean, not too bad. I know you can't really see this on your screen right now, but that, you know, we're just kind of going over stuff. We look at user comparison. Now, yet again, you can do this for any any user who is in the field. I know for a fact. I always do ASC. I know for a fact Aaron had a really good day. And yet again, we talked about this in the live show. But we can look at through the driver exposure as well. And you can do this for any, what am I talking about, dude? We can do this for any driver. Hold on. Sorry, I was trying to figure out why my names weren't popping up on, like, the driver. Like, clearly we have, like, Riley Herbst, Creed, or Riley Herbst, Byron, Creed stuff. But I was like, why are the other guys not showing up? So I need to go ahead and write that down, or at least, make sure we get that, you know, fixed, obviously. Yet again, you know, going to be uploaded later, or the tools available, whatever, right? I mean, this is just showing what the contest sim can do, right? Clearly, we're still working on things, but you can go through and see your exposure to other people and stuff like that. But the real meat and potatoes, let me make sure I zoom back out here. The real meat and potatoes is this one, which I'm wanting to focus on and stuff. And so, yet again, you can do this for a majority of the field. You can do it for a little bit of the field. Now, NASCAR has made it a lot easier because it's a lot easier to access their data points, or their data this year, right? So we'll go ahead and, like, look at, like, Austin Hill. We'll look at, like, Jesse Love. We'll look at Connor. And what we can do is we can go ahead and go through and see where everybody was at in terms of their lap. Now, I haven't necessarily goofed around and adding everybody to here, so I mean, live thing, we can go ahead and just see. Let's go ahead and see what happens if I add everybody, because I haven't done that yet, right? I don't remember the max. I'm pretty sure it's, what is that, 2, 4, 6. It seems to be 8. It seems to be 8 at a time. because obviously we don't want to just get this stupid shit to crash. But when we're looking at this race, we'll like start with Connor Zilich, obviously, because he's the easiest to pay attention to of what happens. So like obviously, he enters. We go to pit. Also, you can see there. You can also see that we have the legend on the bottom. You might not be able to see it, but it's like line shows obviously running positions. Stars indicate the fast laps that they got on that race. We're looking at potential pit stops here. And the yellow shaded area or the shaded areas are the caution periods, which aren't showing up on the Xfinity one right now. But I know they show up in the Cup one and stuff. But the Xfinity race wasn't as it wasn't as chaotic as the Cup Series race was, as that's the one I'm really looking forward to breaking down and stuff. I don't know. Like I said, we kind of went over this in the race earlier, or in the show, in the live show earlier. But we'll go ahead and look at we'll go ahead and look at the two RCR guys who, yet again, I was personally very heavy on Austin Hill because he has been phenomenal at like any track, really. You look at where he finishes, and Austin Hill is pretty much, you could just project him to finish third regardless of the track, whether it's a plate race, whether it's intermediate, short track, road course. The guy is almost nearly always competing for a like top 5 at any situation whatsoever and stuff. And we then look at I don't have the ownership for, I have the projected ownership. Let me see if I can find the actual ownership for this slate. No, I don't have it for Saturday. I have it for Sunday. But you look at the people who ran the issues, which is why I always keep things up. And so we had, obviously Hocevar, had a bad day. We had William Byron and Ross Chastain both go to the rear due to speeding on the last pit stop. Maybe it wasn't. I think it may have just been Ross. No, it was William too. Yeah, both these guys went to the rear. So we pitted. Where are we at here? William Byron's orange. I could have swore Ross. Maybe it was just Ross and not Byron, because I know quite a few people got speeding on this last pit stop. I'm pretty sure Herbst was on there as well. We should, yeah. So yet again, I want to get this expanded where we can have more, just so because I like being able to see the dots across the board. If you're familiar with what this looks like in terms of like or it's similar to like how iRacing presents their data stuff. But you look at like how Herbst was also caught speeding with Chastain towards the end of the race, and they were able to drive through the field. Whereas like you compare somebody who was like, somebody like Corey Heim, who got spun early in the race, should be in this situation here. And we see I'm pretty sure he sped again or had an issue late in the race because he was not able to go up through the field. Blaine Perkins was the guy I wanted to look at here. So we look at Blaine Perkins and we see, we don't really see anything out of the ordinary too much from like what we're really expecting from like Blaine Perkins, right? Starts 17th or wherever he started, right? Starts 18th. Doesn't do much, stays out at the end of the stage. Obviously pits, starts the back of the field, pits. For whatever reason, he ends up going from 27th to, it's probably when everybody actually sped, And he was actually just able to maintain that position. We look at where he's around here. We'll do Sammy Smith, William Taylor's. Kind of see where these three guys kind of resonated for a good portion of this race. We're seeing that a lot of people were able to pretty much maintain the running position they had late in the race. Now, this could be due to a variety of factors. I lean it more towards, outside of like Chastain and Herbst and those guys speeding, the fast guys had worked their way up through the field throughout the day at that point, as we're entering like the last 15, 20 laps and stuff. And there's really no reason that slow cars would be up front in the end of the race at this point in the race and stuff. And so you would argue that Blaine Perkins, rightly deserved to finish there. Granted, he gained positions late. Before this he was, even before that he was moving up. He didn't really necessarily lose positions at all. So Blaine Perkins had a pretty decent speed. He was actually able to hold on to his position quite well. We can also look at the fast lap stuff. Now this, we're still working through the kinks on this one. It really turns into an issue of when guys are laps down, which we don't really see a lot in the road courses and stuff. But this is, at the moment, we can give this 95% accuracy and stuff as we're still going through things. But you can see the distribution of those fast laps and stuff. And we see Connor obviously had a ton, 20. We had Allgaier with 5, and then we see that it was kind of spread out throughout this field. Pretty sure Byron had more. We can go ahead and... Do I have that contest really fast? Let's see. Let me check really fast here. Let me bring this up here. We can just kind of eyeball this one here. Sorry, I have 2 in the account, or I have 0 in the account right now because I'm waiting for my Call of Duty to start today in an hour. So Connor ends up at 26. Yeah, we just have an argument, or not an argument. We have a thing we can't seem to nail down all the fast laps for whatever reason right now. But yet again, that'll be fixed in the final. Just want to kind of go through and look at these fast lap distributions of these guys here. 3 fastest laps from Ross Chastain's, and kind of crazy the fact that he actually did drive through the field. Even when you look at Byron, I didn't play Byron. I know Aaron had him. Just 1 fastest lap from Byron too. Crazy. Interesting. Okay, let's get to the fun one. Okay. Like Xfinity, we did it live. I lost all the actual oomph that I had for the race. Let's actually look at the Cup Series one, right? Like that's the fun one, right? Okay, when we look at this race here, and we look at where people had driven up through the field and where they had gone. Now, yet again, where did I do today? Had a much better day on FanDuel. I know for a fact because I looked through stuff on Tuesday evening. This is what I was on DraftKings yet again. I apologize. This is the only screenshot I have of this one. When I won the COD slate, slightly lost money on DraftKings on the Cup Series one, but obviously, made up for it through the FanDuel stuff. The fact that Austin Cindric had such a piss poor time in this race was very interesting. Now, I only did 16 lines for the Cup Series race here because I wanted. Now, yet again, in the past, I was much more heavy on playing place differential in the back of the field, and just hoping it got through. And probably in my past, I would have done that more. I probably would have had more Keselowski, more people like Blaney and stuff like that probably in the past, whereas now I really wanted to be chasing those guys who were showing a real upside for like top 5 finishes, top 10 speeds, whether it was through practice, whether it was through previous road course races and stuff like that. That's why really both races I played like a lot of guys in the teens, but here specifically, now this is my ownership through 14 lines, and clearly I played 16, but I knew just from what my stuff was saying. Now, yet again, we'll talk about AJ Allmendinger as we get later in this event because he blew a tire with about 3 to go. But really at a road course, anybody that I was projecting to have be in this upper echelon range of like 40 points. We talked about in a live show of the scoring distribution. You wanted guys who could at least score you like 40 points realistically and stuff. And so even though my projections, would have, Reddick be the highest, then we have Byron, Bell, Elliott, Larson, Busher, guys in the 40s and stuff here, even though, my stuff had him projected for, like a 4.9 value, Bell and Byron and those guys were really the core aspects of the people that I played, okay? Now, yet again, you could argue that I got lucky with Cindric. I mean, we'll talk about him as well. These are the guys I played in FanDuel as well. Obviously, the guys in red are the people who got wrecked out or ran into issues and stuff. Obviously, Connor spun, Suarez hits him, Larson loses the tire, and the race gets trap laps down and stuff. But even still, I was very heavy on Cindric. And we'll go ahead and start with him first. So we'll go ahead and look at Cindric. Now, oh gosh. Now this is a tale of a race for sure, right? Okay, so he starts last. He's very unhappy with his car in the end of practice and in qualifying. Qualifies poorly, right? And I expected him to have a much faster car in this race. For the most part, he didn't. Now, yet again, moving forward at other road courses and stuff like this, maybe I should just take him at face value. If people say they don't like their car and stuff like that, I know I'm blocked. Well, yeah, you can at least see this stuff. I want to make sure I wasn't completely blocking the screen. He was not happy with his car. He didn't show any. I mean, we look at the practice laps, and this is second practice here, and we see Cindric is right here in terms of being very, very slow. Okay, now he was 16th in the 5-lap average. He was, when we look at averages across the board, he was 25th. That's probably an indicator of I probably need to be more. I think if you're starting at the back, I might be more aggressive on expecting a slower car from these guys in the future. We'll talk about Kyle Busch as well in this, but Cindric did not have a lot of speed at all. I mean, he is pretty much just running here the entire time. Also, this will be updated. What we expect to have here in the future, let me go ahead and look really fast. I apologize. We're here. In the next version that we are messing with, we'll obviously have final position, total laps, fast laps, average speed, laps led, fast laps, potential pit stops, average riding position, the percentages of laps ran within certain positions, so all that will be added under driver performance and stuff. This is like the 5th or 4th version we've been goofing on. I just wanted to make sure I had the lap-by-lap stuff ready for this video. But, this is pretty bad, right? This is pretty rough. And we're only gaining positions late in the race when we stay out before we don't have. Hold on a minute. I'm over here and I was like, bro, where are my stages, dude? We just fixed something and broke another thing on this thing. But we have the stage end on 49 right here, and so we see Cindric gain, a few positions from people pitting, before the end of the stage. We end up cycling back out, and then we have the instant on lap. What is this? From 55 to 78 were green. Okay, so if you remember at this point in the race, Cindric is driving it through the field, and people are. Let me check actually. Hold on. All right, yeah, cool. I had to check. So Cindric had stayed out at this point in the race. Pits under green on lap 74. That's why we go from 5th. To 21st, which it was a pit stop. As we get the yellow on lap 79 for Denny Hamlin and Austin Dillon, we see that he gains a couple positions as people pit, but he did just lose. He just actually got passed just on the long run towards the end of the race for Austin Cindric. You look at AJ Allmendinger, and we went into pit. We went, he blew a tire. We really can't do or really be mad by the outcome that AJ Allmendinger had in this race, especially when his projected ownership entering this race was around 24%. I had quite a lot of AJ Allmendinger which, I mean, 5 lines out of 16 is pretty substantial. And that's really what personally brought my stuff back, is just when he literally blew his tire with like 4 to go, right? When he was staying in, 5th position, obviously either, blew it on, flat spot tire, whatever the case may be. He just, he blew a tire. What can you do about him? But he had quite a lot of fast laps in this race. We look at, the difference between like Kyle Busch had. We look at the forerunners, Reddick. We look at Bell. We look at Byron. I mean, I don't think there's much to say on William Byron and Bell. I mean, these are guys who, started in the teens, showed speed through past races of, you get pretty much everything we talk about in the live show on Sunday. And that's not a sentence of, oh, I was right. It's from the data points that we looked at on Sunday, it was expected that Byron and Bell would be able to move it through the field, which they were able to do. And we actually see that Reddick had pretty much the opposite effect, is that as everybody else got better, Reddick seemed to be, he got slower and was stuck in traffic and stuff. Now, everything did kind of end up, here, because these are your top 4 finishers and stuff, but these are 4 drastically different races in terms of what these guys were dealing with. And you can see some of the fast laps that these guys got at certain positions in the race, especially when they weren't necessarily in the lead. Who's the other guy in here? Oh, SVG was the other one. Shane was the other guy running up front nearly all day. And you see, did he finish 6th? Who finished 5th in this race? Dude, who am I missing in 5th? I got Kyle Busch. Chase Elliott. Chase is the other one. Yeah, so we had Elliott in there, and Elliott had he had a rough time getting spun right off the bat in the first corner by Chastain. But seeing that, I mean, this is the speed that he was able to show. Now, granted, this is when people are doing pit stops and he's on a different sequence, but you are able to see that throughout the whole day, Elliott was able to drive through the field, and he had the speed to end up finishing 4th in this race, especially when we looked at this section here, which, in the future we can look at their laps specifically. That's what's supposed to be here. Yet again, updating stuff as it goes along, or making changes to the version before it goes live on the site. But we can see, that Kyle Busch, especially if we just kind of, if we highlight these laps, and you look at this, should be Kyle Busch here. It might be a little too zoomed out. Where are we at, Kyle? I am zoomed out too much. Let's see. Okay, so Kyle Busch is blue, so 5 to go wasn't where he ran out of laps. We're going to have to look right there. I'm not happy with how this video is coming out. I'm very disappointed. Very angry. Although, the fast laps kind of do show. So, obviously, like, Kyle Busch blue is to actually... Chase Elliott was leading here. What? Okay, I know that is Kyle Busch. I don't like how this video is coming out. Anyway, what I was gonna say is, just by taking a gander and looking at, dude, why is this showing? Hold on a minute. Trying to figure out all my fast laps are wrong here. We'll worry about that after this. Anywho, going back to the just finishing position and stuff. The other place differential plays. Oh, Buescher and... Okay, that's who I want to look at. Buescher and Bowman really fast. So we have Buescher and we have Bowman, who Bowman keeps the streak alive of his, top 10 finishes and stuff. These are both guys who had tons of issues throughout the entire day, whether it was, being caught on the wrong side of strategy or whatever. Like, they both got there at the end of the race, but they had to sacrifice certain things at the end of stage 1 and into stage 2. Bowman specifically, like, really, really had a hell of a day coming back from, basically just having I believe he sped with these leaders back in the field, and he was able to drive through the field. So when we're looking at, actually here, let me see if I can find them. I was wanting to find the unchanged version of this data, because obviously if we go to Race and Reference now, it'll change because it's including the last COTA race. But one of the points we were looking at were people who had been really good at road courses as of late, or at least guys who carry speed. And this might be at a different point. Oh, man. All right, it was this point in the video where, like, you have Busher, you have Bowman somewhere here. So, like, Bowman's here. You're looking at drivers who had been pretty decent at the last 10 road courses in the Cup Series. Combine that with what we had seen from the practice laps of having very good average speeds, plus attempting to be in the top 15 on 5 lap speeds as well, led to them having speed in these races, even when they started in the back of the field. I mean, this showed people who had speed were able to go up through the field. I mean, you look at all, the chalk. Not Bowman. We are looking for Myron. You basically look at all the chalk plays or all the place differential in, the middle of the pack who had, done everything I just mentioned there, and you're able to see that they were able to all drive through the field. At least the data supported that. Now, this might be, I don't believe it's that way. At least I'm trying not to see the result and then backtrack and try and find data to support that. I think it's what we had seen entering the race and stuff. Past that, I'm trying to think of we have one more thing to go over, but I'm trying to think of people who had overperformed. Actually, we can go back here. Anybody in here who shouldn't be? Oh, okay. We'll look at Gregson. Briscoe, and Riley Herbst. So we'll look at Gregson, who really came out of nowhere. I mean, there's a reason why they brought this car to the back of the R&D. Now, this is just a phenomenal play coming off that yellow from Austin Hill and Denny Hamlin and stuff, but he was able to drive through the field as people got positions. Like, that was really good. We look at Riley Herbst, who started in the back of the field, who from practice data indicated that he had a decently okay car. We know he had a Q lap scrubbed in qualifying, but even still at his price tag, being around a mid, pack play, like that's not too bad at all. We look at Cindric yet again, who just trying to get lucky on strategy, and actually Cindric probably performs better if we get a yellow late in the race, since he was just on a drastically different pits sequence compared to the field. Cindric probably performs better if we do have a late race yellow. So that's that. Let's go ahead and look at the contest review really fast. Ooh, we may have got a live update. Hold on, let me see. I don't know, I thought we have it, whatever. This is the actual ownership of the people who were drafted and stuff in the race, with Sheets' projected ownership. But I'll go back and look here. So, like, SVG was hugely owned. Like, even I was taken back by that. Other people who, I'm trying to think of anybody who was really out of the way. Oh, we can go ahead and look at, actually, I just X'd out of it. Hold on. We can go ahead and look at Connor's laps, and then we'll look at the contest in a second. It's this one. All right, let's go back here. Hold on, give me a second here. All right, we'll look at Connor. What is going on here? Oh, yeah, okay. Obviously, I wrecked out, but still, through these speeds, average 84. Quite a lot of fast laps, but he was on new tires compared to the rest of the field at this point in the race. Okay, I don't really have anything else to say there. Let's go ahead and look at the Cup Series contest we go through here. Your most duplicated lineups for this one here. 65 MME players, 3 in between 149. That's not bad. A lot of single entry guys. I was unaware. Well, I guess it is $15. That's quite a entry fee, but 6,800 users is quite a lot for a single. That's actually crazy. 67% of this contest was one lineup. That's nuts. So that's crazy. We look at most duplicated lineups here. Anything out of the ordinary? Anything the way it should be? Now, I can't. Yet again, AJ kind of screwed me from technically being profitable on. Well, I guess I wasn't on DraftKings, right? Because I was before. But for the most part, I mentioned this in several videos and stuff, is that road courses, due to the skill factor that's involved, that it lends itself towards like those drivers who are very good at it to constantly be good at it, or at least consistently be good at it. The least amount of people being involved in crashes, the lower percentage of yellows being involved. Excuse me. It's usually easier to project not only people's final points, but the contest sims and even if you're using sims to project projections itself, those are usually much more efficient. The market is usually much more efficient on road courses than other tracks. Okay, we look at combos here. Who was the most owned of these? And yet again, like, this video isn't... I'm kind of late now, right? We're fucking half an hour into it, if not more. This is kind of just me going over stuff. I don't know if we're really going to necessarily learn anything. It's kind of just showing off tools as we get them ready to go live towards April and stuff. Oops. Oh, another update. Let's see. All right. So we look here. We see Cindric was pretty heavy chalk with, pretty much your standard guys. Like, none of these people seem like bad plays. Like I said, I think Cindric just got kind of circumstantial, or circumstance kind of left him to underperform it and stuff. Even still, like, what was the... that's still not bad. 9 of 16 with a ton of Cindric on my end. That's not too bad, actually. Shout out to the 2 Cody Ware lines. This is one we can look at really fast. Herbst, Nemechek. Who else was back here? Oh, Ty Dillon got fucking wrecked as fuck. Herbst and Nemechek. I don't look at Herbst and Nemechek. No, I took too long. Herbst, Nemechek. I mean, goddamn, they were pretty much identical plays. That's crazy. Practice data didn't show Nemechek at any grant. I mean, hell, I'm saying that like I don't even know. Nemechek was there. Riley Herbst was there. What was Nemechek's actual ownership at? It's cut off. I'm pretty sure Sheets hasn't cut off. Unless I'm just blind. Give me a long guy. Oh, he cut him off. No. Oh my gosh, I gotta go and find him in the contest. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. This is gonna be a long one. Hold on here. Oh boy. All right, what was Nemechek in the engineer? I gotta find Nemechek line. Yeah, dude. God damn it. This sucks, dude. This sucks. It's unfortunate. Where is the Nemechek lines? Oh, maybe they didn't do well. Yeah, 8% for Nemechek. I mean, that's not terrible. It's really not that terrible. All right, let's see. So that was there. Your top 3 combinations. What were those? Oops, I broke it. I think it's because I hit it when it was loading already. There we go. I might have to do it again. Might crash it. I got so much shit open on Google Chrome right now. Oh, boy. Let me X out some of this stuff because I don't think I'm looking at the other things anytime soon. All right, here we are. Bowman Busher, heavy combination plus Cindric, Busher Bell. Why wasn't Byron used? What the fuck? Byron at 27. Interesting. Take a look at my stuff really fast since I'm already here. Yeah, Byron 20. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, this is more so just me looking over kind of my stuff really fast. Well, let's see. Oof. I had 2 lineups that had 1 duplication. 3 that had 2. 1 at 5, 1 at 7, 2 at 10. 1 at 13, 1 at 16, 1 at 17, 121, 123, 132, 134. Oof, that's I gotta do a better job at that. But overall, not too bad of a week. I don't remember who won this contest, so let's see who won and kind of go back from there, I guess. Steve. We'll look at McLovin actually, because he'll be boop and oops boop. Much better job at not being duplicated. Obviously, we get down to it. I was way higher than him for William Byron. That's Reddick. It's Ty Gibbs, Ty Dillon. He had a shitload of Shane. He had Priest. I didn't. Blaney. That's not too bad. Like I said, I'm having to go over because, like, obviously these names aren't popping up on the side, so I'm just kind of hovering over and seeing the names really fast. But that's not too bad. Not too bad. He had a shitload of Bell. Actually, I had more Bell than he did. I had more Busher than he did. I had more Briscoe. Cindric. Yeah, what did Briscoe do? I already closed out of the lap. Let's look at Briscoe's laps. That'll be 1, 2. We'll probably end it on this one here. Compare Chase to his teammates. All right, so Chase is the blue. I hate being colorblind. So this is Chase. Yeah, interesting. Chase performed pretty decently. He just got caught off pitting off sequence with everybody else. That's not too bad, actually. Chase Briscoe didn't actually perform that bad for the most part. Not very good start in 19th or 18th, wherever he started, but he beat Ty, he beat Hamlin, and he looked like he was pretty much on pace with these guys in terms of running position, in terms of like gaining positions and stuff. So that's not too bad. Anywho, that's the review day on the NASCAR Cup race at COTA. Kind of last minute, done this on Friday before, obviously, we're at the weekend. Next week will be much more not just like thrown together at the last minute before, oh my God, we're in next weekend's race and stuff like that. Hopefully I'll do finish like on Monday or Tuesday. Should be much more concise and stuff. But either way, thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys later.